Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna go up to people and ask them if the Labour Party here in England has had any kind of impact on their finances, and also whether or not the fact that Trump has been re-elected as the new US president would have any advantages or disadvantages as far as England is concerned, considering the fact that the two countries have always had a great relationship. Would that be beneficial for England as far as the economy is concerned, for example, or would there be no impact whatsoever? So please watch the video till the end. Don't forget to like it if you enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's go. Hi, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. Very nice sunny day and nice cheerful face.
Absolutely. What do you do for work at the moment? sir?
Well, I'm retired now. I'm 73, so but I work part time in a community centre. Doing dances as a sort of rehabilitation, and generally try and go to a gym and things like that to keep my fitness up. And of course, I have the dog here. It's a Staffy Rottweiler mix. So life seems to be fairly full at the present moment.
Lovely. Hello there. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking part in this interview today. So, what do you do for work at the moment?
I do software engineering.
Oh, lovely.
I'm a minister in a Baptist church.
Oh, lovely. How much do you normally, like, not you yourself, but somebody in that position, how much could they make per year? Could they make a six-figure sort of sum
No,
or nothing like that? No.
not in this country.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's you don't go into this business to make money.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, sir, as you know, here in England, the Labour Party have been in power for a few months now. Now, as far as the financial situation, your finances are concerned, how do you feel now with the Labour in charge as opposed to when Conservatives were in charge? And have you felt any negative impact now that the Labour are in charge, or positive impact? What differences have you felt in your everyday life
Well,
financially?
Yeah,
Okay, in a positive way or a negative way?
negative.
And you felt like a lot better financially when the Conservatives were in power?
Yeah,
I mean, as everybody's realised, food, cost of living has gone sky high. Obviously, like energy costs have gone up, so has food, housing. They're the three main components. Now, my sort of belief is you can't particularly blame the government for that. But of course, people, are dissatisfied. A lot of people, are dissatisfied, and they'll vote for the other party. So in the end of the day, neither party can solve the fact that food's gone up in price a hell of a lot, partly the war and climate, everything. And the same goes for energy. At one time, you bought cheap oil from Russia. Now we don't. So there's a variety of conditions which neither party, and of course, people now looking towards simplistic solutions, which is what Trump's offered, and you see that across the world. Marine Le Pen in Brazil, elsewhere. In Germany, the centralist government are now swinging towards extreme right. So there is a tendency for people generally to turn towards politicians who provide very drastic, simplistic solutions. And of course, there's immigration. Now that's all happening because, of course, I think partly through climate crisis, there's a lot more people, that require, and the countries are struggling to accommodate. So if you ask the question is, I think neither party can provide a solution. And I think what is required is predictability and stability more than, outright solutions. So I think that with Trump, I think there could be a big recession because he's, global, is even going to impose, so anyway, so hope that's not too awfully a reply.
So why would you say that is? What policies have Labour enforced or had in place that you think has suddenly caused this sort of issue as far as the finances and financial situation? is concerned, or the financial crisis, let's say. What have they done that has caused all of this?
I don't really know. Just my money in general, like all the bills and stuff like that coming out, and just everything.
So the price of goods when you go and do some basic grocery shopping, for
Yeah,
example,
definitely. Yeah,
you can see a massive difference now in prices.
yeah.
How would you like, as a British citizen, if you had some advice for the Labour Party to make some adjustments and help the situation of ordinary people in the country, what advices would you give to them to help sort of to sort of improve the financial crisis in some aspect, and try to sort of make some positive impacts one way or the other? Do you think that as far as taxes goes, do you have to pay more taxes now with Labour in power, or with the Conservatives?
Yeah.
How have you been impacted now,
Tax. Yeah,
tax-wise? Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
The fact that the Labour Party have been in power for the past few months, have you felt any sort of impacts at all as far as your finances are concerned, positive or negative?
Not really. I mean, you see stuff online about, you don't see anything good about them being in power. You know, you always hear about energy bills going up and stuff, but I mean, that sort of happens anyway, doesn't it? So, to be honest, I don't really know. My finances have been okay. I know people in my family have been impacted negatively because I think they increased corporate tax, but I'm not too sure about that. So I think some people might be worse off, but I'm okay.
To be fair, I'm not strongly Conservative or strongly Labour. I could vote either way depending on who's likely to be in power and the people involved. I'm not overly impressed with what Labour have done so far. I think they're making mistakes, bad mistakes, particularly with the budget a couple of weeks back. I think there's a lot of consequences coming out of that, which are going to be, I think we're all going to feel it because of increased national insurance for employers. That's going to feed through into inflation. I don't know. I don't feel very confident of the way they're leading us at the moment.
You mentioned that obviously you haven't felt any impacts at all. Would you say that they have done a relatively good job so far, as far as the overall economy in the country is concerned? And if you were to make any sort of recommendations, right, to them at all going forward, would you have any recommendations, or you think that everything is in place perfectly at the moment?
Well, I'm not really into politics too much, but I do see stuff online. It seems like there's a lot of tension between sort of like left and right, especially when it comes to like immigration and stuff. Yep. I think they need to do a better job of that because it's causing like a noticeable divide, I think, amongst the country. And then obviously there's stuff about the farmers in London at the moment. Again, I don't know much about it, but if people are protesting, there's obviously something wrong. So I think they need to do a better job of unifying the country and actually listening to what people want rather than doing sort of what they think's best. But every political party does the same thing. I don't know if it would be any different under the Tories.
Okay. If you were to make one or two changes to their current policies and improve them, as a suggestion, as a recommendation, what would you say to them today if you had the chance to pass on a recommendation to them?
I think they need to they need to listen more to some of the people involved. So like with the farmers' issues at the moment, it sounds to me like the farmers have got a good case, really, a good grievance. I think that Labour need to target maybe their actions more. So in that instance, go by all means go for the really wealthy people. I think it's only fair if you have wealth, then you should be taxed more. But they seem to be dragging a whole lot of other people into that net at the same time, and it's going to cause problems.
And as you know, Donald Trump has been re-elected as the new US president.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
will officially start in the office at the beginning of 2025. Now, the UK and the US have always had a very close ties and have always got on really well with each other. The UK's Prime Minister Starmer, he did take side with Kamala Harris during the US election.
Yeah.
Do you think that has ruined the relationship now? And overall, like going forward, do you think the fact that Trump is going to be in the office and the fact that one of his main policies is to improve the economy in the US, could that also help the economy in the UK in some aspects as well?
Yeah, to me, he's an unpredictable character. He says some strange things. Those things don't always get enacted, although I think he's got more power this time round because he's carrying both houses of governance over there. How it's going to affect us? Tariffs, possibly. It seems like, you know, he's very protectionist. He wants to protect US interests, which, you know, I get that. But he's not too concerned about special relationships, I don't think. I don't think we can hang on to that and say, oh, we'll be all right because we have a special relationship with the US. I don't think that plays much in his thinking. So I think overall, I think we might be hit hard by some of, you know, his economic policies, certainly.
Maybe in some aspects. I don't know enough about it to know in what way it would be good or bad. I mean, obviously, Trump's policies and our government policies aren't the same. They're quite different. So maybe the relationship might be slightly strained, but, you know, we're both two massive global superpowers. So I don't see it being too much of a problem. It might be a slight issue, you know, because you hear about Trump wanting to end the war, whereas obviously we're still funding the war in Ukraine. So we'll see how that turns out. But I think for the average person, it won't make a difference really. Or at least you probably wouldn't know about it.
Well, it's hard to predict. Trump's unpredictable, but he puts America first. So I don't think really, whichever politician, he'll just do whatever route he thinks will suit America first, whether it's Conservative or Labour. And I think he'll just, like a businessman, he'll just say, well, let's see where the money is. If Britain is, you know, if it's more suitable to route A for Britain. So I think he's just going to take no real notice as far as he's concerned. You look at a map and see our size of Britain. It's a tiny little spot on the map, and there's America. And you'll think, well, I couldn't care less. What they say or do with me. He'll just, like a typical sort of a trader, he'll keep his cards to his chest. He'll just make it ambiguous to suit his ends, really. And I think that's the way it's going to go, which I think long term is going to be disastrous for the whole world economy, because he's going for a sort of a isolationist type of protectionist viewpoint. And as we all know, or economists generally have predicted, that it's world trade, and America needs that as well. But anyway, that's So, sorry, just repeat the original question. I think in the end it's not relevant to Peter. It's very hard to answer the question because I think he's not going to take much notice, really.
No problem. Okay. Thank you so much for taking part
You're
in this
welcome.
interview today. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you
No
so
worries.
much. Take care. Cheers.